Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Jez7780, and we're here for another What Grinds My Gears, episode 9. This is not your daddy's single player, boy. Jez7780. And then I have my thing going on. So, anyway, I was saying that this is What Grinds My Gears, episode 9. This is not your daddy's single player, boy. And you can probably figure out where that boy came from. But anyway, I'm going to talk about a couple of things. There was one thing that I really was thinking about, and something that I really wanted to discuss and propose. And if we get people in chat, definitely leave your feedback on that. And so basically, what I wanted to talk about, I know with God of War coming out, which I have been playing, and really is absolutely pretty amazing. I'm probably about, I would say, about 8 hours to 10 hours in, maybe around there. Just did some huge epic battles, and that game is absolutely incredible. Just the storytelling, character animations, and the graphics are just the cherry on top, because that's what draws you in and you stay for the gameplay and the story. That's how all games should be. Yo, what's up, Daniel? How you doing? So anyway, I've been playing that, and I know the big thing that's been going on between this is just the quality of single player games, and basically single player games versus multiplayer games. And obviously that has devolved into Sony's doing single player games very well, and they're doubling down on single player games. Whereas Microsoft, kind of focuses a lot on multiplayer games with Xbox Live as the infrastructure to that. And it kind of turned into, well, Microsoft does multiplayer well, Sony does single player well. Microsoft, we need some more single player games to flesh out our experiences over there. And on Sony's end, people are like, well, the third party AAAs like the Call of Duty, Battlefield, those guys fill out the multiplayer aspect for the Sony portfolio, and Sony's kind of filling in an area that not many third parties are focusing on. They're focusing on big open world type games that have, or multiplayer shooters, and maybe sometimes in Call of Duty's case, eliminating the single player campaign altogether, or adjusting it to kind of go with the times. So basically what I was thinking is the thing is with single player is that I feel that single player games have changed. And I think the perception that single player is this closed, put my headphones on, sit in front of the TV, don't interact with anybody, just play the game, has definitely changed over the years. And a lot of things that have changed that single player aspect that I see criticized, where people's like, well, I'm a multiplayer guy. Like, I don't like single player games. I'm not a single player person. Because I heard that going on too, where people are saying you got to play God of War, and somebody's like, no, I'm a multiplayer guy. I don't do that. And I was multiplayer guy. I play everything. That's my thing. I play everything. I did gravitate towards multiplayer games, and when definitely in the 360 is when the multiplayer was kind of the thing. And then definitely played some single player games, but really wasn't a super engage in these single player games until I started playing some of The Last of Us. I think was one. I know that that game really started pulling you in with the story, and Uncharted 2, that was another one. And it just happened to be those two games that really got me into. And God of War 3, those were the games I played on the PlayStation 3 that really were like, oh, well, I could see single player games. But again, I still went back to multiplayer. But that's besides the point. Really, the thing that I wanted to speak about is how, actually, from those times, how multiplayer influences have come into single player. And single player games now are not what people who say that they're just a multiplayer guy are, because single player games now, with the social aspect of streaming, with streaming, with screenshots, video shares, social media, podcasts, forums, all this stuff now has really taken a single player game to the next level, and making single player still have those shared experiences that you have in multiplayer games. And actually, the competitiveness of multiplayer has really kind of shifted. And now they have the the professional leagues and things like that, which they, the ESL and stuff like that, they really didn't have those really and man, when I was over at PAX East, they had jerseys and things like that you could buy for your favorite team and stuff like that. I'm not a big follower of the professional video game sports, but still, it's like it's definitely bigger. And with streaming has really been a changing factor for single player games. And I think that streaming to YouTube with the comment section on the side, or streaming to Mixer, or just streaming in general has really added a social aspect to the single player. And one of the biggest, well, at least the things that I've seen has a change was shout out to Kid Smooth and the Planet Xbox crew, was Kid Smooth playing Bloodborne. That was like a social event, according to everybody in the local followers and stuff like that. Just giving tips, telling them to do this, laughing, joking, like that was fun. Like that was really, really cool. And it really added that kind of social aspect that you get from a multiplayer game to a single player game. So when people say that single player games are not for me, I do think that yes, they're not that let's do headshots and teabagging and all that other stuff, but you could still have that social experience with the sharing screenshots, sharing video. And the single player games are not what they are, and we see that with God of War. Basically, the screenshot sharing, the discussions that are going on, the social media with Twitter and Discord chat rooms, and streaming of the games, and all that other stuff, that the community is driving the single player games, and people are watching. And that's really one of the things I wanted to point out, where that people are saying that single player games are not for me and things like that. Do you realize that there's a lot more social interaction than there used to be with single player games? And yes, your multiplayer games are there with the the headshots and the competitiveness and the ranking and things like that. And Fortnite is a perfect example of just a pure multiplayer game that just has run wild. And actually, it was one of the things going into the NPD things was that headsets were like one of the top selling things probably for communication online with Fortnite. And they believe Fortnite drove a lot of that headset sales, and which is pretty crazy that the social aspect of that game and the competitiveness is driven communication and things like that for those for such a game like that. And going into the NPD thing, so they just released them. And I have my things. They released them a couple of days ago. Matt Piscatera was basically going over them. And, there are a lot of surprising things on there. Not necessarily surprising, but some things that, I know NPDs always start some craziness and all those other things. But the top selling hardware was the PlayStation 4. And that was a month that, this is not the God of War month. This is the previous month in March 2018. And they had the PlayStation was number one, then it was Nintendo, followed by Microsoft's consoles. But then the individual hardware was the Switch, the red and blue Switch. And looking at the hardware numbers and things like that, I know that there's a lot of interpretation, a lot of analysis going on about year over year. And I think Sony was down a little bit from year over year, and Microsoft was up. But you also got to think about what last year was, to think about what they're coming up from. Like last year was probably the worst year in sales that Microsoft ever had with the S. And I think a lot of that was attributed to their promotion of Project Scorpio at the time, that a lot of people were just waiting for E3 to find out what the price was and things like that. And they were teasing it so much from January when they said that this was the year of the Scorpio. And, I think that's why, another reason why the S just was dismal last year. So of course they're going to be up and up like over year, because they had new hardware this year. The X is definitely, has boosted sales. I think the S is still, I think the S is the anchor to this. I think that Microsoft really should have just kind of clean slated it with the X and really came out swinging instead of just kind of giving updates with it. But I'll get into that. Going into the, and Sony at the time, they were selling the PlayStation 4 with the thing. And I'm not sure what came out last year at March time for Sony. But again, they went down just a little bit. And then the Switch came out in March time. So, of course, they're just doing excellent. And I think they just announced they're at like 17.6 million sales today. Hard numbers. That's not interaction. That's not experiences. That is not people, walking in stores looking at it. That's sales. That is over 17 million sales in just about a year, just over a year. And, That's a little bit more than halfway, probably. If Microsoft, you look at it, if they are at 37 million, or I think 35 was the last thing that somebody was calculating. It's coming up there, and that's not even with the anticipated Metroid game coming out, the Pokemon game that they might announce at E3, along with Smash Brothers when that comes out, and that will be oh my, when Smash Brothers comes to that. And that's what, and it, and Nintendo wasn't waiting to E3 to announce they waited to E3 to announce Smash Brothers, but I don't know why Xbox has to say we got to wait to E3 for everything. Everybody, and then Valve just bought another studio. Like they just bought the studio that made Firewatch, or that game, and people are not waiting to E3. So this excuse to wait to E3, I don't, I'm just like, okay, yeah, whatever. If they're really holding everything to E3, and that's it's kind of ridiculous because nobody else seems to be waiting. Everybody keeps to be bringing news, but along those lines, going into the software part of it, and number one was the Far Cry 5, on all systems, which definitely is a excellent game. I'm playing that too, but yeah, that is a lot of grind. Definitely, you're doing, it's open world, so it's huge. But I tell you, it is that game is really amazing. I love how they kind of separate out the lands to have different kind of bosses and different experiences, where you're doing the children of the father guy, and it's definitely cool with that. But just to jump in the chat, Dana says that I can only speak for me. I love being alone, immersed in great, and that's your choice. That's excellent. If you and I do the same thing too. I don't stream this thing. I'm not even really in party chats really when I'm in a single player game. I just want my headphones on and experience it all. I don't, I really don't want to be in a party chat. Usually, if I'm in a party chat, I'm playing a hockey, or I'm playing just a kind of a mindless game, because I'm really, unless I'm playing a competitive game with somebody like in Fortnite or something like that. Otherwise, I'm playing some kind of just like game that I knew the story. I'm just going through the game already. But for my experience through it, yeah, definitely headphones, playing it. And then the sound in God of War is absolutely incredible. That's another thing that I feel. And another thing too, coming on to, as we go through the MPDs and talk about first party, Sony has first party hardware, such as the Platinums, and they came out with the new gold headset. And the 3D audio and the audio profiles that they have for those headphones, you could download them through their companion app, but they tweak for their first party games audio profiles that you could download to those headsets. And it makes the sound even better. Like it's not really, it doesn't really drown out the bass. It really just like you hear a little wind and like leaves rustling in the background in the lower left hand corner. It's all just behind you. It's in the lower left. It's above you, behind you. Somewhat to probably the Atmos experience. Like I have Atmos speakers. I tried the Atmos on my headphones. I tried Windows Sonic with their headphones. I was in the beta for the Xbox One trying the Atmos. And yeah, that's great and stuff like that. But those are really just general. They're not fine tuned to those games. Whereas Sony does audio profiles. They have Horizon Zero Dawn. They even have MLB The Show 18 audio profiles for those headsets. But again, first-party headsets, wireless headsets, and they could be used as regular 3.5 millimeters as well. And the Platinum support the 3D audio, which is not in a lot of games, but when it is there, it's incredible. Like playing Uncharted with it is absolutely incredible. And they're great headphones, and they fold up. They come in a little pouch, the Platinums. I've tried the golds, but I just been going with the Platinums, and I purchased those. I tried the golds in the store, but I tell you, first party hardware, that's another thing. We're talking about first party games, and we're going to get into that for the MPDs, but first party hardware, the last kind of first party hardware we get besides controllers, like that is a given because you need controllers to control the console. I'm talking about other things. Xbox was the king of they had the chat pads. They had the Bluetooth little headphones that you put in the side of your ear. They had Halo version that had the green one. They had a Call of Duty one that had a little charger on it. They had wireless headsets. They had wired headsets. The last headset Microsoft came out with that was a first party one was the old ass stereo $70 headphone that came with that stupid puck that you plug into the controller, and actually that evolved to, once they came out with the controllers with the 3.5 headphone jack, then that puck became optional. And then I think they did a chat pad way back when they added like text messaging to the system. But like their first party accessories, bad. They just like do partnerships, which you know what, guys, that's what they are devolving to. They are devolving into just partnerships. Have everybody else do the work. We'll just be support, or we'll just slap a stamp on and say it's an official Microsoft product. They've done it with the headsets. And, you know, as a headphone junkie as myself, having a first party headset that's tuned to the games that you come out of first party gives you those special experiences that you do not get in the audio when you just plug it into a general game. And the first party games, going with the first party hardware, really is a nice experience. And, you know, definitely try it out. If you have the golds, I think the golds are 100, the platinums are 169. But you know, I try out all headphones. I have the Thrashers; those are very comfortable, and I also have the Stealth 700 Turtle Beaches. I've used those, and I had the Astro 500s that were horrible with, I think, with the Xbox. I had the new Gen 3 ones. They would crackle like crazy. Even though they said they supported Atmos, they crackled like crazy, those things. I get a lot of crackles, a lot of just like not synced with the voices. And I don't know if it was my Xbox or that party system and things like that. But, you know, as a side note, just, you know, first party hardware is another thing where I think Microsoft really they don't do it anymore. They also partnered with the Lucid Sounds. Those headphones were supposed to come out, if they're like their version of the LS40s. They were supposed to come out end of last year. Nope, didn't come out. They got delayed, and it's still delayed. You know, added to the crackdown list, because it's like one of those things that had a release date and then gone. They're not coming out. But, you know, just going over the headphones and just things like that. Like, I'm telling you guys, really, you know, again, it goes, oh my goodness, here's my other thing. What is this going on here? All these sounds. I'm gonna mute that thing. But anyway, sorry about that. But yeah, like the headphones, awesome. What? Oh, are they the XL35s? Okay, because I know that they were delayed. I was with them. I went to their booth over at Pat. Well, wait, the XL35s, are those over the headphones, or those are the ones that go in your ear? Because they were showing another one where they were going in your earbuds, and then they were over the head ones. Because I was over at the Lucid Sound booth at PAX East, and I didn't see any of those Xbox ones. They just had the LS40s, LS30s, and the 20s, the wired ones. But I didn't know if those were the buds or those were the over the heads. But, you know, Lucid sounds great too. I like them. But I'm glad they're out. I don't know how much they are. If Dan, you can tell me how much they are. The XL35s overhead. Okay, yeah, those are the ones that I think they're off of the they're Atmos supported, and then those are they use Atmos, but then those are based off of the LS40s. I think it's a specific model. But again, it's a Microsoft licensed one. I remember when they announced a partnership with them. That's great. You know, it's all great. I think Microsoft even announced a partnership. I remember with Turtle Beach when they were doing the whole, you know, that horrible puck thing. You can imagine, as somebody who really likes their headphones, that beginning of those years with the Xbox One with the audio, oh my God, that was a nightmare. I had to order headsets, but you had to use the puck, and then I had to order for the puck, and the puck came in the mail to plug it in the controller. Man, you know what? Those were the struggling days. It was definitely a smack in the head, you know, from what they used to do with the 360, and then now they just do the controller things. But yeah, so try out those headphones, the XL35s. I'll check them out. I didn't see them in the store. I always search, you know, Best Buy for new headphones to look. But anyway, going back to the MPDs, you know, number 2, and the one that caused the most kind of ruckus, and I know, you know, from my brethren over at Planet Xbox that we had the discussion last night, Sea of Thieves, our good old friend, Sea of Thieves. Go back to my episode, what is this, episode 7 or whatever like that, when we do Sea of Expectations. Well, Sea of Thieves got there in number 2. That is great. You know, I think it's great that Microsoft sees that so that they won't close Rare, basically, or not support the game. Hopefully that shows that there's a lot of games sales out there. I don't know how many were returned. or sold back, after people played a couple of weeks of it. But obviously it sold number 2. And right behind the multiplat, and it was number 2 for the month. Now again, we don't know actual numbers of it, but the fact that it's there is good. That hopefully it gets the support from the from Microsoft. Rare has this whole this plan. I think this in May is going to become like an AI combat, like an AI thing. They still tease it because I'm just tired of all this teasing crap. And then the next one, I'm sure they're going to save it probably for an Inside Xbox reveal. That'll be like a 30-minute probably talking about some sort of sea creature, which is wonderful. And then in July, they're going to do another AI antagonist. Again, 2 enemy types that probably should have been in there from the beginning of the game. They're trickling out as content. And that kind of leads me to the whole, is that something to be happy about, that Sea of Thieves is number 2? Now, I said it's good that it gets the support, but it shows that Microsoft's push and marketing, they shot guys out of the cannons. They did a little thing of a submarine with the Sea of Thieves on there. They partnered with Chips Ahoy over at PAX for Sea of Thieves. The idea is great, but what they released is a tragedy. That game was not what it was sold as. That game was sold as this thing to have fun with friends and explore and do all this stuff. And they give you 3 types of fetch quest missions and a Kraken from Zayase that's lacking. That has just, as I phrased them, my phrase didn't get it off of there, sea dicks coming out of the sea with no animation to the character, no body or anything like that. And people say maybe it's in the cloud. But anyway, that was the big sale, was the Kraken. And then the grieving from all that other stuff, all the complaints that we had, being over a year in a beta, those things should have been ironed out. And they're still, going through things, and you still see updates and here and there. And you know what? The thing was that we spent about over 2 weeks just talking about, oh, it needs this, it needs that. Imagine this. Oh, they're going to fix this. Oh, the death penalty thing. Oh, they announced it, but they mismessaged it. It's coming back. They're taking it away because people were confused. They said if somebody grieves them, they're going to lose their gold. Stuff is so expensive. There's only 5 types of customization, and they sold the promise. They said, no, that's only 10% of the map. That's only 15% of the game. Well, they were talking about all the different customizations. They weren't talking about missions. They were talking about the customization. Oh, the rest of the game's coming. That's not game. That's customizations. And that game was sold on a promise that more stuff was coming from the beta because they were getting critical complaints from the beta. Not to mention that the beta had a gag rule on it until maybe February of this year, that you couldn't even talk, take pictures. They had your name, a gamer tag all over the screen. They couldn't even talk about it, which I don't know what they were hiding, because what I played was basically the game, unless they were hiding the sharks, because that's something that they added. The hell knows. But I don't know what the hell they were hiding. But obviously, they promised something, people bought into it, and were disappointed. And I think that's another reason why we had such a backlash over the 2 weeks. I think a lot of it, too, was people who signed up for Game Pass, but that was not included in the sales. And I think that the game basically was sold on a promise that they didn't deliver on. And people are going to stick with it. And hopefully now that is number 2, that people are going to, Microsoft is going to support it and not drop it like Project Spark, or not drop it like Fable. Now, Fable never got sold, but Project Spark was out there and they dropped that. And drop and just drop support from it. My thing is that if this thing doesn't really show sustainability over the year, I don't think Microsoft's going to let Rare even kind of add more content to it after this year. I don't see it. Like, they are very kind of profit, very money driven. It's a business. It is not about, it's very kind of money. And, all businesses like that. Sony's like that. Nintendo's like that. But from Microsoft, I feel like we talk about it more, that it's about them making money. And I don't care. I don't care if they make money. I care about the end user experience. It's great that it's number 2. But the thing is that That's not something that should be. It was a 68 game on Metacritic, and the reason why it was a 68 because it had no content in it. And that's the thing about it. Like, that's not something that if it was a game that was kind of under the radar and it's and everybody was like, oh, this game's good, guys. Like, word of mouth really pushed the game, and hopefully it got the sales and it shows up on number 2. That's something to be, yeah, that's good. That means people recognize that this is a good game. But when you see a game that was advertised as something, get a low Metacritic score due to basically not a lot of haters, basically the reasoning of lack of content, and then seeing that at the high sales, you go, oh man, those people were duped. And yeah, and I would say too, fool me once on that. I didn't do. I used a trial. I played it for 2 weeks. My friends played it for a couple of days after that, and we were just like, we're done. There's nothing in this game. So to come back and be like, oh yes, what a success! It wasn't a success for me. I was like, this is done. I'm done. And everybody I played with was like, this is it. I'm done. And nobody's turned it on again. Nobody's asked me to play. Nobody's invited me to play to renew my subscription. No, it has been dead as a doornail. It was back to everything else. And that's a testament to show that this game really did not have the legs, especially within the gaming community that I follow, to say like, yay. Whatever. Microsoft marketing at work. And that's what I think it is. And the sad thing is that I don't think State of Decay 2 is going to be like that. And State of Decay 2, I don't think is going to sell like that. First off, it's a $30 game, and already the comments of a $30 game could do that. I agree. Yeah, the game harmed the brand's reputation. Yeah, that's right, Dan. The game harmed the reputation. It did. The sales mean nothing because that's how many people that just went and go buy it. And the other thing too, before I go to State of Decay 2, Sea of Thieves was pre-orderable. You could pre-order that prior to the announcement of Game Pass. And I think a lot of people had this game already on pre-order. And then when they found out on Game Pass, I know we saw a lot of people say, well, I'm canceling my pre-order. I'm just going to get it in Game Pass. I don't think that was the majority. I think a lot of people just kept their pre-order and just kind of said, I'm going to be playing this with my friends. And there are people playing with their friends. Now, it's not 100,000 streaming ever since the first 2 days. And that 2 million player base that Aaron Greenberg propped out, those now, what they don't clarify is those 2 million, those include Game Pass. The sales don't include Game Pass, but the 2 million number that they say we got 2 million unique users include the game sharing and the Game Pass. So just that's where the little difference of that is, of showing success and engagement. Your engagement numbers tell me about everybody, people who bought it and people who are using trials, but your sales, that doesn't include Game Pass. So let's keep that in mind. But the thing is that they fooled people. They duped them. They said that there's more stuff coming. There's more stuff in this game. That's why you should buy it. People believe that. They bought it. And then this is what it is. And I think that's where the backlash was. People liked it and defended it, and then people didn't like it and trashed it. And that's kind of where Sea of Thieves was. And it became, and it kind of hurt that game. It became a joke. And then the Kraken part of it, that became a joke. Like, the game became a joke. And now it's like, well, the joke is on us because it sold number 2. So we will see where it goes. I expect it not to chart at all next month. I don't think this game has sea legs. I think this game is just going to have, you already see on Twitch, because they were really putting to show out the Twitch numbers, and basically Twitch numbers have dropped like 5,000, 8,000, stuff like that. It's still around there though, but hopefully they add some more content to it. They fixed No Man's Sky, got some content, is a completely different game. They're going to re-release it again with new things. So hopefully they add stuff to the Sea of Thieves and they make it worthwhile. And, and that thing is that's the thing. That's the kind of the beauty of the Game Pass, is that you could sign up and go get State of Decay 2 and sign up for next month's games. And then you Game Pass, because the Sea of Thieves just comes along. Like, you go just check it out. And, and that's what it is. It's kind of like always there hovering. Whereas if you buy a game and then trade it in, you're never going to go, you got to rebuy it. which is definitely a much more a larger effort than saying, oh, this game's already in my Game Pass, let me just download it. So I can see that's where the Game Pass thing is. I just don't want Game Pass to be a dumping ground for mediocrity. And that's where I kind of feel that, hey, just put it in Game Pass, sort of like what Preview was turned into. But Preview was designed for that. Game Pass should be full-fledged games that, are quality games. And, and I think that's where we really need to see what Game Pass turns into, and if it doesn't turn into a dumping ground. But, next month's Game Pass, I'll bring that up quick. Just to go in there. And that's kind of what I'd say about the MPDs, is just to see if these things, I'll see next Game Pass for March 2018. And then the other thing is that, and then there was also, I think Ni no Kuni 2 was in there, MLB The Show, GTA was in there as well. So it was good. Like, Ni no Kuni 2, I haven't played it yet. I still have it in the wrapper. And then MLB The Show, that thing sells every year, baseball season. But again, baseball games, they're good though. I have it. It's definitely really a really good game. They improved it. They added some arcade modes to it too. Let me see. Let's see if these March 28. I know off the hand it's State of Decay 2 and then some light cycle game. They added trying to go off of memory here. Oh, it's going to be May, not March. What am I doing March? But they're actually pretty good. I think they were pretty good. I think they're doing a good job with Pro Evolution Soccer 2018. I think that is a good month. The Escapists, Unmechanical Extended. Yeah, that game is kind of old. Sonic and Knuckles is old. Laser League is a launch game. They're going to launch that. Overcooked is definitely a good couch co-op game. And Homefront Revolution. That was on PlayStation Now last month, but that one is that game is in Philadelphia, open world kind of shooter game. That one's all right. It definitely got poor reviews, but State of Decay 2 coming out. And, I know that Aaron tweeted out yesterday where the campaign is with State of Decay 2. And, he says they're going to have a big campaign next month and it's coming and stuff like that, but they're not going to really focus on TV because nobody watches TV anymore, which, they sure don't mind having Microsoft advertisements during Walking Dead, speaking about the PC, having that guy on the stage talking about, you're going to create this, or preview of the next Walking Dead presented by Microsoft. Do you think they would throw a State of Decay 2 advertisement in there? Do you think they would throw an Xbox advertisement in there? Nope. Let's talk about our PC. And that brings me to the Phil Spencer tweet of yesterday. The tweet of tweets. And actually, it wasn't an interpretation. It wasn't IGN grabbing the 343 thing and interpreting this. This was Phil himself grabbing this specific line out of the 343's apology of taking down the user mod of the Halo Online. And Phil goes, we'll support with an official classic Halo experience in the near future. And there's nothing to announce yet, but PC players are, and then the article went on to say the PC players are very important to us. And a lot of people, I've said it, and I know, people that they didn't like it on the podcast, but Master Chief Collection getting redone, people were telling me, oh, that's because of the X. The power of the X is going to fix the online. Are you kidding me? My ass. They did Master Chief Collection beta and all this other stuff because that jaunt is going to the PC. And you'll get a little Xbox X enhancements too, but it's going to PC. And they want to get rid of all the kind of mods and Halo stuff that the user community created to get their Halo fix. And now, and I said it, put Master Chief Collection on PC. That is an untapped market. Whether it goes on Steam, who knows? And it supports mods because I don't know if UWP supports mods right now. But Master Chief is going to the PC. And it's going to prep everybody for Windows 6. Who knows about Windows 5? I'm sorry. Halo Windows. I sound like Microsoft. That's all they talk about. But Halo 6 and Halo 5. Oh, yeah. I knew it was going to happen. I knew it. I knew it, but there are people out there that don't. And that's the thing. My thing is there are people still waiting. And it's like waiting for a bus that's never going to come. What are you waiting for, people? Wait to E3. Wait. What are you waiting for? The days are going by. The years are going by. And everybody else is delivering, being a traditional console. Why are we waiting for Microsoft to see if Microsoft's bet pays off? And not only are you sitting there waiting for free, but you have to invest in a $400 or $500 piece of hardware to sit there and wait. And you're going to play the third-party games that everybody else is playing while you wait for them to sort it out and bank on whatever future they got planned. They're not using our feedback. They're chasing something. They're chasing something beyond the box. So let's stop waiting, okay? And let's start demanding, because this needs to change. They need to hear it, and they need to get that slap in the face that they got in 2012 and 2013 right across the jaw to say, we don't want that. We don't want that. That's not what I asked for. I did not ask for Discord presence. Unless you're bringing the whole shebang of Discord over here, talk to me later. I don't care about the partnership with Discord presence. Oh, but we didn't have to wait for E3 for that announcement. No. Yeah, the cloud. Oh, I talked about tomorrow. Yes, go to the Xbox podcast yesterday about the cloud. That's like 2014, 2013 talk right there. Never amounted to anything. And that water Sea of Thieves, that's wonderful. I don't care if it was clouds. I don't care if trolls made it. I don't care. I don't care where it came from. If I'm going to say, wait, and you give me water and no gameplay, then what am I waiting for? What? And that's the thing. If we had here PlayStation and we waited and there was nothing came out for that thing, and then they dropped the God of War on us, we're like, holy crap, it was worth the wait. People were waiting 4.5 years, 4 years for Sea of Thieves. 4 years. And that game comes out, and then they tell us we got to wait more while we sail around the beautiful water and sunsets? Come on, guys. Come on. That is just bull. And I don't know what we're waiting for. Yeah, they won the next gen because of the cloud. That is, and I stated this yesterday. The cloud, whatever it exists in, is to offload physics calculations, not to render graphics and textures and send them over the internet. When you're talking that, you're talking about streaming games. Oh no, streaming games. PlayStation Now sucks. Actually, PlayStation Now is not bad. But that's a huge Xbox argument. Native games matter. Well, the cloud is going to make you stream textures and stream. You know what, guys? Come on. Who cares? Who cares where it's coming from? Who cares how much money they make? Who cares who they hired? Who cares who moved around? Who cares that Phil became head of Windows? Who cares? Why does that matter to us? Why? Why do I have to sit here and look at my phone and look at the internet and care about who they hired, what money they're making, when it doesn't amount to nothing? Casey Hudson is at Microsoft. Casey Hudson, holy crap, the guy that made Mass Effect. What is he going to do? What is he going to do? No, what are you going to do? He sat around, took a shit, and left, and went back to BioWare. Thanks, Microsoft. He did nothing. HoloLens. Let's put it on stage. HoloLens Minecraft. Because we got to throw Minecraft and everything. What did that go to? Nothing. That thing's still $3,000 on the Windows Store. Nothing. Games. What? Nothing. So what about this one guy? Booty comes in, and now they hire this other guy. One guy. Oh, wait to E3. Why can't you say this guy's going to come in and start this new studio? You don't have to tell me the game. You don't have to tell me the genre. You could just say he's heading a new Microsoft studio. That's something for E3. Microsoft has all these first party guys. What do they have them in the Xbox vault underneath Redmond? They got a 200, 300 people, 2 studios. What, in the basement? And they all going to come out on stage at E3? Come on, people. You don't buy studios. You don't make studios. You don't buy buildings. You don't do that stuff without it going on the internet. That's not coming. That's a pie in the sky, people hoping with their waiting and making up stories. People scour Microsoft's hiring list every day. The guys over at Windows Shed Central. Shout out to my other Jeds over there. Every day they go through the hiring and see what they're hiring. You think Microsoft could hire 50 to 100 people to make a new game that we would have seen that already? Guys, they're not. They're not. And Phil is a charmer. He is a charmer. And I believe that guy wants to do it. But unfortunately, like everybody else, he has a boss. And the boss doesn't believe in Xbox. And that's the bottom line. Because Stone Cold said so. But that's the bottom line. His boss doesn't believe in that. And Phil got promoted to be Windows Gaming. Oh, that sounds damn exciting. That's like for friggin' Sudoku and Mind Bomb, what the hell that friggin' game is. That's Windows Gaming to me. Solitaire. There you go. That's Windows Gaming. How exciting is that? Windows Gaming. It's Solitaire, boys. That's what it is. Boy. Solitaire. He's head of Solitaire. And Windows Gaming is what Satya believes because that's a way to get the cloud. Who knows? Maybe the next version of Windows will have Solitaire powered by the cloud. You know, it's the thing is that this whole shebang, why does it matter? Why do I know more about the infrastructure of Microsoft and why they make money than about what games are coming out this holiday? And Microsoft is not afraid, Phil himself is not afraid to tease a classic Halo experience is coming, to talk about reaching 2 billion gamers in 2020, talking about you'll see streaming in 3 years, to talk about Game Pass and its future success. And we want games launching in Game Pass. He's not afraid to talk about all that stuff, guys. But ask him what games is coming in November, Phil. Oh, no. I won't. Sorry. Next question. Next question, please. Next one. Go on those media. MSNBC goes out. Well, we want to reach out mobile gaming and this. I want to get Android and iOS on Xbox Live. I want Minecraft on the Switch to give me Xbox Live. They don't mind talking about all that crap. What's going on with Crackdown, Phil? No. You'll hear more of it, Becca. Yeah. Next question. You'll hear more. It's coming. But Phil, they had a release date, November 7th. It's coming. It's coming. It's coming. We got 3 studios working on it. We got 3 different. There gonna be 3 different parts of the game. It's coming. But Phil, what about the games? You talk about reaching 2 billion gamers. Holy crap! Game Pass, streaming, PC. What about the games? Oh, those take time. They take time. Guys. They take time. But wait, the games take time. But you're out there yelling out to the rooftops that you want services. You care about Discord. PC experiences. Hey, we could share controllers. Not on Xbox. But your PC guys on Mixer.com could take control of your Xbox games. Who's the fool? And don't even get me started on paying for Xbox Live. Everybody else gets it for free. Think about a guy on a Switch. Just guy on the Switch playing Minecraft is using your Xbox Live. And you pay for that quote unquote premium service. and he's on Minecraft playing with you guys, free as a bird, free as can be. And guess what? Not only does he get all those benefits of Minecraft playing with all his friends that are on Xbox, which who knows how many those are, but then guess what? He gets his Mario, he gets his Zelda, he gets his Metroid, he gets his Pokemon, he gets his Smash Brothers, and he taps into your Xbox Live and plays with all you people that are paying. Guess what, guys? PC dudes, they can sit here, chat with all their friends on Xbox Live. I chat with everybody on the Xbox app. I get achievement, chat. I can do screen caps, share it with everything on the Xbox app. But guess what? I get my Steam sales. I get my VR with all the choices. Even Microsoft's offering, guys. Even Microsoft's offering. Not from them, but from their third-party bums that they hire, like Asus and HP. Make some crap hardware for us and throw it out there. The Samsung one's actually pretty decent. Oculus, Vive. You got so many choices for VR. Oh, but guess what else I get? I get Origin games. They give me a game every month. Ubisoft. I get, what is the other one? The codes. I get Steam Summer Sale, Steam Spring Sale, all the Steam games. And I get all your Xbox games. All in that crap Windows store. That's a little app on my computer as the PC guys. And they can chat, play online, DLC, play it day one, hour one, minute one, second one, the same time. You Xbox people, play it. Ooh. No service, no premium delivery, no $60 for the premium experience. Day one, minute one, second one. Oh, and Game Pass too. Yes, you don't get all those games that are not in the Windows Store, but guess what? You get your Sea of Thieves, you get your State of Decay 2, you get your Lucky's Tales. Whoever wants to play that. You get all those games that are cross-play. There you go. Oh, but then we add confusion to this thing because Hellblade is not a cross-buy, though. You need a friggin' dissertation to figure out how to buy something from Microsoft because there's so many options. Who the hell, I need so many options. I need a laundry list of like, it almost reminds me of all the choices that you make. It's like, well, if you choose A, then you got two choices of B and C, and then you got this one, and you got B, and you got blah, blah, blah. Yeah, anyway. Because it's options. Well, guess what? Microsoft over the last 2 years has given you options that are better than the console that they're selling. And think about that. The options that they've given you caused me not to buy an X. And I will not buy an X because I did not buy into that crap. Their 4K X is going to give it to you because I'm like, if this is just a souped up PS4 Pro and it's doing the same exact thing, that's not what you sold us Project Scorpio as. Scorpio was a high fidelity machine that was going to support, wait guys, high fidelity VR. Oh yeah, they were going to support it. They were talking from the rooftops. Go back and listen to E3 2016 it is. High fidelity VR, a line of crap. Last year's E3, VR's not there. Really. Sony came out with 2 versions of it already. An aim controller, which not even the PC has, that you got to mod one. And they got one. And games that support it. So just stop. Just stop. What are you waiting for? You touted HoloLens out on stage for the last 3 years, but 2 years before that. And then talking about high fidelity VR. And what? Last year it's not ready? Oh, you think you're going to do it this year? And when you do it this year, what games? That's the other thing. Sony's VR has exclusive games. You know what drove me? I'm going to give you a grinds my gears. You know what grinding my gears, guys? When I saw Todd Howard on there going, well, Microsoft made a high fidelity VR thing and we're bringing Fallout to VR. And, we can't wait to put this on your Xbox Project Scorpio. I can't wait. And then Sony gets the exclusive of Skyrim VR. And Todd Howard What happened to his VR on Xbox One? Phil says no. Just over the year, they changed their message. Now, the X is not a bad console. It is not a bad console. But again, it's a promise they're not delivering on. They're depending on third party to do graphical improvements. You are not, and I'm going to say graphical improvements, higher resolution. But whereas if you had the X versus a Pro and you're like, wait a second, go. The X has, oh my God, the things on the table, real time physics, they move around. But guess what? On the Pro, they're static. They don't move. Yo, guess what? That building right there has all those high grade textures on it. The Pro doesn't have those textures. Holy crap. See those lightings? See that shadow? See that stuff? That's only on the X. The Pro doesn't have that. You're not seeing that, people. We are not seeing that. Instead, you're seeing, oh, well, that runs at a higher resolution than the Pro. Resolution. You're not seeing better lighting. You're not seeing more shadows. You're not seeing better physics. You're not seeing better water effects. You're not than the other competitors. They're not doing that. There is not that disparity between the games. And that's the kind of difference you need to justify a $100 purchase. $100 more than the competition. And that's the stuff that they promised us. 4K textures. When did we hear that, everybody? 4K textures. Count on your hand about 4K textures. But Shadow of War, again, it is a pie in the sky, pie in the cloud conversation that we waste too much time talking about to give excuses for no games that are coming from them. They're the ones, and you know what's interesting, everybody, is that they're the ones, they are the ones who are using their first party, their IP to benefit the services, but they're not using their first party IP to drive the console. They are using Gears and Forza and their Halo Classic Experience to drive their presence on the computer rather than making those games to drive the next generation graphics of the console. Hint, God of War, people. God of War on the Slim destroys any messaging about the power of X that you can talk about. I played that God of War on every single TV, 1080p projector, and slim PlayStation, and it looks incredible. And that game, if you tell me you put PlayStation 4 Slim with God of War on a 4K TV, and then I give you the X with Gears of War 4 on a 4K TV, and you just switch back and forth and look at it, you would say either it looks better or it looks on par. But you are not going to say that is 100% more. That is $100. Wait a second, not even $100 more. The Slim is $300, right? The Slim is $300. That is $200 more. Oh, the Slim is $200. That is $200 to $300 more than Gears of War right there than God of War on the Slim. And the reason why I bring this up is because the PlayStation is doing what console's supposed to do. The Nintendo Switch, look at Zelda. Look at those games. Those games are made for that console. When you look at the specs of the Switch, you go, what the hell's going to run on there? A potato? But look at what they're getting out of it. When you have something that makes that they have developers focused on the hardware. They're focused. Keyword, focused. Microsoft is all over the place. ADD, Microsoft, all over the friggin' place. We're over here on PC. We're over on the Switch. We want to be on your phone. We want to be in your ass. We want to be in your toilet. We want to be up your nose. We want to be in your asshole. Everywhere. But guess what? When you're everywhere, you're nowhere. Because they have no focus on what they're selling. That's why you just got this mishmash of announcements. Why would you do presents on Discord when you have an Xbox app? Hell, you own friggin' Skype. You were trying to shove that shit down our throat in 2013 with pictures of video calls of grandma and people follow me, or the Kinect follow me around as I walk around the room. You own Skype. Why are you going to Discord? What? Why? Skype was supposed to be embedded in your Xbox with DirectX 12 nonetheless. Yeah, where's that? DirectX 12 embedded in the chip. Embedded in your ass. That's where it's embedded. They have a DirectX 12. Give me a break. It's all talk. And again, it brings me to my first point. Why does it matter? Why? Why is that a conversation every single time I talk about anybody talks about Microsoft? It's all about everything else except the problem. That's the problem, is that Microsoft is not betting on the Xbox. They aren't. What they're trying to do is sell you all this other bull so you just stick around and wait. That's what they want you to do, because they don't know if their bet's going to work. They just want to make sure they have an audience to address to. And I think even FanFest, that's the only time they acknowledge the Xbox is at E3. Because beyond that, every friggin' announcement they make is about everything but. And that's the problem. They want you to wait. And we got to say no. Tired of waiting, especially when you're waiting. And I can understand if Sony and Nintendo were struggling and the games weren't selling and the console really is not what people want anymore. People want something more. People are playing on their phones. They're playing on their iPads. The consoles are struggling. The consoles are not selling. The consoles of Sony and Nintendo are doing better than they have ever done. So for Microsoft to tell you that that's the future, meanwhile, everything right now, people thought consoles were going to be dead in 2013. They didn't think it was going to sell. And I think that's the reason why we had, the consoles just didn't sell. That's what people thought. They're like, oh, the console's dead. Everything's going to PC streaming, blah, blah, blah. But look, the PlayStation and Sony are traditionally doing what a console's supposed to do. We should be seeing bangers from Sony and Microsoft should be throwing lefts and rights at each other right now. We should be friggin' drowning in amazing games. We should be sitting there and drowning in amazing games. We should be having God of War versus Halo 6 top-notch graphics showdown. Instead, we're hoping Crackdown comes out this year. Come on. Or we're waiting for State of Decay 2, which is the only friggin' game that I think is worth a damn. And it's a $30 game that Microsoft's probably going to shove out there. They better fix their frame rates. That's all I say. Don't tell me I go wait for E3 for frame rate fixes. But that game is actually a decent ass game. But again, it's getting the whole, it's a $30 game. It's not a AAA. Well, the game looks good. I thought it was really good. And I'm happy that it's $30. But again, in the grand scheme of things, you got to look at what your competition's bringing. And you got to say, that game's sitting on the shelf. I know Microsoft don't care where you play, but obviously you want to play where you want to play. And you're going to play where the games are. That's it. That's how simple it is. I don't understand why that's so hard to get. You like gaming because you like to play games. I don't like gaming to know Microsoft's financials and hiring structure and about the cloud. I don't do games for that. I'm not sitting here playing these games going, oh, I wonder where these textures are from. Oh, I wonder where this is being calculated in. Oh, I wonder how long it took them to. This would took them a long time. That must have took about 2 years. Come on. That's the stuff that you worry about. You don't want to know what's a fact about that. Has one person even brought up about the resolution that God of War is not native 4K? Huh? It's not native 4K. It's checkerboarding. Well, checkerboarding, king me, because it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It is just a narrative. And I know I posted something, I think, over the weekend about reaching, because I said that Microsoft was hiring a graphical engineer. Their bottom line was like, if you're excited about 4K 60, come work with us. For Halo, I'm like, huh? 4K 60? I better not get compromises because you guys want to hit a target. But apparently that's what engineers do. Okay, let's see. But I just thought it was a little weird to say, oh, if you're excited, I'm excited about 4K 60. Okay. That's if that's what gets you excited. It doesn't matter. It could be 2K 60. If it is an awesome looking game and it doesn't matter. People play retro games. It doesn't matter what it looks like. If it's a fun game, you're going to play it. Okay? You come for the graphics turn your head, but you stay for the gameplay. You stay for the story. You stay for the interactions. You stay for the physics and the interactions and what can be done and what could be manipulated and the content. You stay for the content. And that's the whole essence of a game. It's just that's what it is. It's not DirectX 12. It's not the cloud. It's not 4K textures. It's not that stuff. And why is it always Microsoft thinks they feed us that stuff and that stuff makes you wait? Come on. Wait for what? If you wait and give me a God of War, I'll wait. But if I wait and you give me a Sea of Thieves, you can shove it up your ass. So, I had a comment too, just while I'm ranting, a comment about a couple of weeks ago what I was saying about the delivering mediocrity. Well, Halo 5 was decent. The story was crap because they sold us on this battle. And I thought it was going to be some epic story and amazing single player. Because that's why everybody liked the first Halo. Like, they came for the story. That was an interesting story with the flood and all that. Halo 5, they were coming off as Terminator, right? Like Terminator 2. I was thinking, oh shit, Terminator 2. I listened to all those audio docs. Halo 5, they did a little slap in the face, and that was it. He slapped him in the face, scraped his mask, and then they ran away in the portal, and he go chasing him. Completely disappointed with the single player. The Warzone was the only revolutionary, I feel, multiplayer by introducing AI to a game that was that I thought was definitely forward pushing, and I look forward to what else Microsoft is going to do with the power of Xbox Live, because that is really cool. Because that was something you think with dedicated servers. They got AI in there. There's something, Titanfall was another thing with the technology. That was really cool because that was immediately I saw that stuff. I don't care if it was cloud or I don't care how it was done. It was done and I was playing it. But again, they advertised something that didn't amount to anything. That Halo 5 fight, after playing God of War and that Stranger fight, that's what we should have got in Halo. Now, I know it's a first-person shooter and all that other stuff, but still, the product, the amount, the production, and the interactivity and the camera swinging in, that's the kind of battle I thought was going to happen, like a superhero battle. And it was just them just slapping each other on a podium. And oops, Major Nelson got a scratch. And not Major Nelson. A Master Chief gets a scratch. And then jumps in the portal. And everybody's like, oh, he's telling the truth. And everybody goes chasing him. Sorry for spoilers. But anyway, it's in Game Pass. Go play it. And then, so that was all right. I was like, but Quantum Break really was what I was like, ooh, what's going on here, guys? Like, this game was not it's good production-wise. It was pretty good. The fighting was pretty cool, but it was just really, I was sort of like, ooh, I thought it was like a 6. I was like, oh, yeah, this is not that good. What's going on? Maybe there was some production issues, things like that. Like, I know this game was in turmoil. It had different actors, and then they put in new actors. There was some problems with it. But again, it didn't do anything what they sold it. They sold it as it was going to be this movie embedded into a game that you're going to choose and you're going to do different things. It didn't amount to that either. Again, more about that rather than about the game. If you focus more on the gameplay, maybe that game would have been better. Instead, you focus on it's a movie, it's coming in, you do decisions, and then there we go. Again, the narrative is not about, the focus is not on the games. The focus is on the services, on the features, all this other crap. It's not on the game. Then that was just kind of mediocre, ho-hum. Didn't get a multiplayer. And I had some discussion with some guy on Twitter blaming us why we don't get sequels. Blaming the customer. The customer is always right. You don't blame the customer. When you blame the customer, then you're the problem. Don't blame the customer. The customer is right. You make good games, we will buy good games. You make crap games, you're not going to buy them. But we should not be blamed because we didn't get a sequel to Quantum Break because it didn't sell. Because I had to tell that fellow on Twitter that Quantum Break sold beyond their expectations per GameSpot, per Aaron Greenberg. It sold beyond their expectations, but it was a business. That's what happened. It was a Microsoft business, and Microsoft didn't want a sequel. It wasn't the gamers. Oh, the gamers didn't support it, so we're not making it. That is a bunch of baloney. You do not blame the consumer. It's their decision to decide what games we like, what games get green-lighted. It's their knowledge of the audience. They got to be in touch with their audience to deliver what the audience wants. Look at your Smash Brothers crowd crying in the Nintendo store. Yeah. Are they crying over Lucky's Tales? Tears of, what the hell is this? They're out of touch. And they didn't want a sequel. It was a business. And doing these second-party sign-on deals, that's what everybody's saying. Because we're not seeing deals of Microsoft buying stuff, buying studios, hiring people. They're going to do these kind of contract jobs. Well, these contract jobs don't make a franchise grow. These contract jobs are one-offs. And they pay just about the contract. Guess what? That Phantom Dust failure, that was a contract. Oops, we're not putting any more money. You want to do better? We're not paying for it. We're pulling out of the contract. Scalebound, another contract. You guys are doing what with the money? Nah, we're pulling out of this contract. Contracts a lazy-ass approach. And you get lazy-ass games sometimes from contracts. And Microsoft's given themselves an out with those contracts. They're not building studios, building a house around them to pump out original content. Instead, what they're doing is they're doing these little contract jobs that they could easily pull the rug from underneath them. And think about it, people. That's the reason why Phil won't tell us what's coming out in the fall. That's why we don't know next year's lineup. That's why we don't know the roadmap to Xbox. It's because they're doing these side jobs that they want to, if it doesn't turn out, they pull the skirt from underneath them. Thank you very much. We'll take our money back. We'll cut our losses here, was one of their quotes. We'll just cut our losses where they are. And that's why you know where the Sony lineup is because those guys are in-house. They're all around them. They're family. They know those guys are pumping out those games. They know Death Stranding's coming out. That's why they announce it 5 years in advance and tease you with friggin' videos for 5 years. Last Guardian is a testament to that. They brought that shit back. And it was a story that needed to be told. And that was actually a pretty good game. But that's why you know those games. That's why Sony can do that. They could tease their games out for years. Yes, they could cancel games. They cancel them. They could shut down studios. They shut down Evolution Studios. Nobody's immune. Nobody's perfect. Nobody's perfect, everybody. This is not Sony's the best and then Microsoft sucks and Nintendo sucks and then Microsoft's the best. This is not it. This is just what's going on. And the whole reason for this is to say, stop waiting. If you don't like something, you make people hear about it. And that's what it is. Now, yeah, there's mixed messaging. People, they're going to have fanboys jump on and stuff. But you want to know what? I was not a PlayStation fan. I skipped the prior PS2. I never had a PS2. I had a PS2 for one night to try San Andreas. And I'm like, this game sucks. The graphics are horrible. I'm used to Xbox. Xbox had a little bit better graphics on the thing. I was like, this is like going back in time. I don't want to go back in time. I joined PlayStation 2 too late. I didn't like it. I was like, I don't want it. I skipped the whole thing. I didn't like Sony. They screwed me with the PSP. They turned it into a hacking tool. I got old games, it was great, but they abandoned it. They abandoned the Vita. They abandoned the Move. They abandoned the PlayStation. They abandoned their hardware. I was like, they don't support their hardware. Microsoft supports their hardware. They evolved the original Xbox at party chats. They evolved the 360 from Blades to this, to Kinect. I beta tested Kinect. They evolved. They kept you on edge. They kept you excited about the product. They got the deals that slapped Sony in the face. Kojima, get your ass on my stage right now. I know you hated Xbox. Get over here. You're making a game for us. That's right. They did that kind of stuff. They dropped a bombshell with Final Fantasy. Final Fantasy is coming to Xbox. Take that, Sony. They made people excited for the product. Yeah, Bob Jabroni, what's up? Yeah, I talked about that earlier. I was talking about how Phil took that tweet out. Listen back earlier, but basically, that whole thing, it's Master Chief Collection is probably going to PC. That's about it. They want to get all those mods away and then going to put Master Chief on the PC. I guarantee it, because that's where their focus is. They want to, they said it to us, everybody. And that's why I said about Kojima coming on and all that stuff. They don't need that anymore. They're not paying those big dollars for that stuff anymore. They want to take the sit back and let everybody else invest, and we just watch, and we're just the infrastructure that they use. Microsoft's taken a laid back approach to all game development, and not game development, but bringing new content to it. They're going to let everybody else do it. It's up to the devs. And that's the thing. We gave them a most powerful console, but you know what? It's not our job to show the power of this console. We did it with Forza. Wrap it up. 4K 60. Now we can put it on the advertisement because we did 4K 60 and Forza. No other game is ever going to do that, but Forza does it, so we can put it on the box. And they were done. They got Forza running 4K 60. They shut down shop. They said we could do 4K 60, and they moved on. And that's what they did. And the thing is like that. They want to sit back, just like they're doing with their VR stuff. They want to just make the tools and have people make the games for them. That's what they want to do. Or if they got to show some games, they do some contracts like the Lucky's Tales. They probably told them, like, hey, Palm Oculus, yeah, we'll give you the controller package with the Oculus. You go make Lucky's Tales for us. And that's what it was. Like, that's a contract deal. You asked for Lucky Tales too. But see, the difference is that Quantum, the Quantum Break 2, you're not going to get it. Sunset Overdrive 2, you're not going to get it. Rise 2, you're not going to get it. Because they were contract deals. They were good contracts and games that probably could have developed into a franchise. But the fact that you abandon those games and don't bring back the sequels leaves people hungry. We should be getting sequels to those games. But we're not. Now you think about it, this is exactly Sony's position. God of War. Guess what? Cory Barlog's next game. The next God of War. Do you know the hype behind that? That's how you get people crying in the studio. That's how you get fans crying. You come out with that game, God of War, and guess what? Holy crap. When's his next game going to get announced? The guy, whoever he touches, is going to be gold now. They just created a gold. Think about God of War Ascension. God of War is like, they brought it back. Holy crap. This game has enough 4 years now. That studio's, the lights are going to be on for the next 5 years unless Sony goes AWOL. That's what? Guerrilla. They made Killzone. But guess what? Horizon Zero Dawn. Guess what, guys? Horizon Zero Dawn 2. Oh my God, here it comes. Holy crap. Infamous, the next one. Like Spider-Man 2, Spider-Man 3. Like, think about it. They're creating franchise. They created Horizon and they got Horizon. Think about it, Gears of War. Will you be blaming you guys? Gears of War 1, did it sell? It sold. Did we say, oh, guys, we got to go out there and support Gears of War 1 because we're not going to get a sequel to Gears of War 2? Did you have to do that with Fable? Did we have to do that with Forza 1 when Gran Turismo was dominating everything? Did I have to say, guys, I got to go buy Forza 1 because you know what? They're not going to make Forza 2 if we don't buy it. No, we didn't. We didn't do any of that stuff because that's stupid. That's for them to worry about. It's their decision to greenlight a sequel. And yes, sales matter to it, But you want to know what? If it's a passion project and the studio wants to deliver a sequel and expand on the first one, look at the first Uncharted. It came out when the PlayStation 3 was super priced high. The game and the animations were all right. Uncharted 1, Sony will be like, let's cut our ties now. Let's cut it. Think about it as a second party thing. Let's cut our ties. Let's cut it. Now they came out with the Uncharted 2, which was incredible, and that launched the franchise. And Uncharted 3 was an evolution of 2, and then Uncharted 4 you got. And then you got Lost Legacy on top of that. Oh, and then spin-off from that Uncharted studio. Oh, yeah, guess what? Oh, yeah, here comes Last of Us. And now you got Last of Us 2 because they invested in Last of Us 1. And they brought a sequel. So everybody's excited. So guess what? Next generation, Last of Us 3, God of War 3, Horizon Zero Dawn. And they keep making it better and better and better. And then they start up new ones like Ghost of Tsushima. Come on, people. Come on. Microsoft's doing one and dones to their games. You talk about one and done single player. I talk about one and done games. The game might not be well received. Uncharted 1 was not well received. Like, it was okay. Sunset Overdrive 2 should be out now. We should be playing it spring now. But we're not. And they're working on Spider-Man because Microsoft said, business. We don't want to do a sequel. Why? Because they don't believe in the games. They don't believe in it. Then maybe it's not Phil. Maybe he wants to talk that. But if they don't believe, Satya does not believe in the games. He wants Microsoft as the service. Let it be a service, but you can't be a service, like I said before, without the content. And there's so much competition out there in the mobile space as an app. You got to fight for that. And you need to bring the content. And Game Pass, it's good. They're bringing the stuff, the Game Pass. And, you know, them putting their single player, their first party games in there, or their partnership deals in there, is a huge risk. It's a testament to them risking, but they want to risk their IP. They don't care about their IP close to home. They want it out there, but they just want to make sure that they got part of it. So that goes back to what Jabroni was saying about the El Dorado. They saw that money. And they're like, we're not getting unofficial. We want a piece of that pie. And they will. And they'll use them to do mods or something like that, probably for Master Chief. Who knows? And then the last thing I'll talk about is the whole thing where I know you're borrowing on that thing where he said he was a gamer because everybody was getting on him for streaming that God of War and streaming Hellblade on PC. And that's fine. You can play whatever you want. Like, you can play whatever games you want. But you got to realize, like, by everybody thanking somebody for something, thanking your competition for something that you know is your weakness, you just highlight your weakness even more. And the fact that you're playing that stuff even shows that, wait, why don't we have any bangers? Why don't we have anything that you want to play? But you want to play the most popular thing. But guys, guess what? He's a gamer, but he's still a Microsoft gamer. And you want to know why? Is because he's streaming on Mixer. And that's how you have to think, everybody. That's how you have to think. He's streaming on Mixer. He's not streaming on Twitch. You look at Mixer top views, they're what, 3,000? Twitch is like 150,000. Some guy playing a song, a DJ. That's not where the gamers are. The game is not on Mixer. But that's where the service is. So he'll take the hit on the streaming a game that you cannot buy on an Xbox or Microsoft platform just to get the views to watch on Mixer and promote engagement. He's not streaming it on YouTube. He don't have a YouTube channel. He's not streaming on Twitch. He's streaming it on Mixer. And he's going to stream what's popular, which will bring in the views. So then when he checks in his engagement numbers, Microsoft says our Mixer engagement was higher. And they're willing to risk showing a game that people are like, wow, that game looks incredible. I want to buy it. Oh, you can't play it here on Xbox. You got to go buy another competition. They'd rather have that and have your engagement with Mixer rather than you buying their console and a game from their console. And that's the bottom line. That's the way you think about it. It's all about engagement and using their services. Using those people that play on the Switch on Minecraft, that's the Xbox customer. The person that streams on Mixer, that's the Xbox customer. That is the Xbox customer to all them. And that's where we need to think about it. So while we wait and wait and wait and wait, Microsoft's chasing something totally different. And like I said before, if we waited and we got a God of War on Xbox, a game like that, I trust you. I'll wait. But we waited and we got Sea of Thieves. We got Lucky's Tales. We got 4K remasters of Zoo Tycoon. We got Halo Wars 2, which was all right, but it was nothing more than Halo Wars 1. It had a cool enemy. Like, it was cool, but it did nothing more or nothing less. It was just a safe bet, just like Gears of War 4. Gears of War 4 was a safe bet. They didn't take any risks. They added bounty cards. Yay. What a risk. They didn't take a risk with Gears of War 4. The story wasn't a risk. They had a new character, but they still had to throw Marcus in there, and he stayed with you the entire game. So, you know what? That was cool. But then it dragged out, and they teased this new enemy and wound up being really not that much. I'm not going to spoil it, but it was just whatever. There were safe bets. It was a proof of concept that they could do Gears of War. I was very disappointed with the Gears of War multiplayer. At Gears of War 2, Gears of War 3, it got bigger and better. And Gears of War 4 was like, we're going back to our roots. Like, But they didn't change it. You know, it was a safe bet. And Microsoft's playing the safe bet. And the thing is that they want engagement. They'd rather have you do Mixer. They'd rather have you on PC. They want that PC market. We're thirsty for games. They're thirsty for those PC guys. They're thirsty. They want that PC market. They see Steam and they that meme of that guy just rubbing his hands in the window like, oh, man, we want those Steam people. That's what he wants. That's what they want. They want Steam. They want those Steam people to come over. They want the Xbox guys to go over to PC to sell hardware. Because remember, off a topic, PCs were struggling. PCs are struggling. That's why Microsoft built the Surface. They wanted to make a platform for their operating system because of all the trash HP, Asus, and all the other guys were putting out. They had to make a piece of hardware to show that this is the reference device that you should create from for our operating system. And they got copycats. They led with hardware as the reference device. Yeah, the Birdman hand rub. There you go. They want that. That's what they're thirsty for. They want those PC guys. But that they did a reference device. And now PC, Windows 10, Windows 8 was a debacle. Windows 10, they're trying to get back, but it is dominated by Chromebooks. It's dominated by Apple. It's dominated. And Microsoft, just like Windows Phone failed, they are trying to gain back that stuff and be relevant. But right now, the only thing they're relevant is they're in corporate. They're in corporations, and that's where the money is. Enterprise, servers, that stuff. Does that sound like fun? Not to me. That don't sound like fun. That don't sound like fun. That's not fun Microsoft. That sounds boring old ass Microsoft. And that's where they're going. Boring old ass Microsoft. Just look at the announcements they make. Discord presence. Boring. Hand your controller over to a Mixer.com user. The 3,000 of them. Boring. Boring ass Microsoft. And we're waiting around for boring ass Microsoft Enterprise, blah, 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 suit and tie, go to office, use PowerPoint crap. That's not a fun place to be. They were hip, 360 hip. They were hipsters, man. They came out there. They're like, woo, khaki. They came out in shorts. Yo, there's some games. We'll grab over there and kick some people in the balls. We're going to take some exclusives away from Sony. They were hipsters. Exactly. I know, that's what OBG on. I don't know if you came on before, but basically what I was saying was the reason why Sony is able to announce games in so far advance is because there are all their home studios. And Microsoft is doing all these off contracts that they're afraid to announce games that far out because they might pull the contract out because they're not fully, they're kind of just like, here's a contract. You know, they're not building this family of confidence that they can have these games. So that's why we know more about what Microsoft's intentions for reaching 2 billion gamers via cloud in 2020 rather than what the hell's coming out this holiday. So that's where we are. And I don't want to repeat all myself, but yeah, this rant kind of went on. But anyway, I went through a lot of topics that have been just, grinding my gears. And basically, we can't, the waiting, the whole thing about their business structure and all this stuff is going to do. And like I said, Casey Hudson, that Booty House and Booties and all this other, who cares? Who cares when there are good games to play? And if you are denying not to play those games because you think some angel is going to come down out of the Microsoft cloud and save you, I hope for that angel. It's not coming. It's not coming. Phil said it in that tweet. It takes time. After you've been waiting, it takes time. I said his tweet was almost analogous to the flight attendant after you've been sitting on the tarmac for 2 hours where they go, thank you for your patience. Thank you. What else you going to do? Thank you. Like, it's just such a kind of like, it takes, why are we waiting here? Like on a plane, yeah, you got to get somewhere. But like, you can't, like, what are you supposed to do? Like, why are we waiting? We're waiting last year. Like, what is all this waiting? Just tell us. And they have been telling us, and people don't want to hear it, or people say it's good. And I know the last thing too. It's like, they said, putting games on PC, wider audience. Yay. But what have you seen as a console gamer and then putting the game Gears of War 4 on PC? What have you seen? What I've seen is that there's not enough people on the Gears of War PC, and they had to throw those people on the Xbox with crossplay because there wasn't enough to sustain matchmaking on the PC. Hell, Call of Duty did that on Windows. They actually refunded the game because not enough people bought it on Windows 10 crap store to have enough of an online presence to even have a frigging game. They canceled it and they removed it and refunded everybody on Call of Duty. So what has it introduced? And then look at Sea of Thieves. Sea of Thieves, they have fixed the sniper rifle. They balanced it on the PC because they don't want it spinning around that fast because people could snipe you that fast. So now they people complained and now they've released it. So now people on PC could snipe you faster than on the console. Who needs this crap? Who needs to worry about this? Why? Why is this even something to worry about? Why is this a concern? Who cares? Just put it on the friggin' console that the people bought. You want to outreach and do whatever you want, do it, but not at the Xbox console user's expense. And that's the bottom line. They are using the Xbox console people as the guinea pigs for all their kind of shopping around. And the people at Xbox going, I'll wait. Well, you go around and poke your dick around in all those other places. I'll stay here and be happy because you're still shoveling the shit in my mouth. I'll wait. You got to wise up. We got to call them out. And when they come back home, you slap them in the face and saying, you stay here. I invested in you. I invested in this console. I spent my hard-earned money and bought for your things. I invested in your ecosystem. I invested in your rewards points. I invested in all this stuff. I given you my credit card. Now you go put your money where your mouth is and you deliver services and experiences to focus on those people. Because guess what? Once you lose the core, you are nothing. You lose your proponents of Xbox and you are old ass corporate Microsoft suit and tie, enterprise, Office, PowerPoint, Excel, boring ass Microsoft. And those people that thought you were cool and thought you would, they have been on, you have chased them away to all the other competitors because you cannot satisfy your core. You need a reason for them to stay. And as I'm seeing what God of War did and what all this other stuff did, you chased more people away. Now that E3 is not going to be a wait and see. It's going to be, oh shit, we need to get them all back. We got to go back to the island. Lost reference. And that is going to be a huge problem when your competitors are flying on all cylinders. And I'm going to tell you, just look at Discord. They took over Skype. Microsoft owns Skype. It came around, did it better. Somebody's going to come along and do Game Pass better. And they're going to have the content. Whether it be Apple, whether it be Amazon, whether it be Sony, whether it be Nintendo. But somebody's going to steal that idea and do it better because they got the content. And think about a Game Pass from Sony with God. Just look at, I'm going to tell you, PlayStation Now, for the shit that it gets, the library that thing has is absolutely incredible. You could, and they are updating all their PlayStation 3 games to PlayStation 4 on PlayStation Now because I think they are going to probably make those native downloads on the next generation because they're taking anyone they did a remaster of or an upgrade, like Beyond Two Souls right now, they just did for PlayStation next month. It's the PlayStation 4 version. People are like, why are you remastering it? It's because the PlayStation 3 games do not work on the PlayStation 4. But if they make them to PlayStation 4, they're basically future-proofing them so that they could support them on the next generation, possibly natively. But what I'm saying is the library over there, with all the games that they have in there, it is absolutely insane. They have overpriced, though. I waited for the $100 for the year. $20 a month is a lot, and streaming can vary depending on your connection. But just look at the library of games. There's over 600 in there, the library. That if somebody just kind of took a page right out of Microsoft's book and did Game Pass with special content, if Nintendo did a Game Pass, hell, with even their classic games, that's it. That's why content drives it. So right now, Game Pass is nice, but Microsoft really has to keep bringing that content and unique content. And I'm looking at it, and the unique content they're bringing are very kind of indie games. And yeah, they have their own games, but they need more of their own games. But it's a lot of these kind of indie games like Robo Battle and this light thing. And it's great for indie devs. Like, it's a good platform for releasing, but that's not going to attract subscribers. And Game Pass, I'm telling you, wasn't even a big topic or talked about really until Microsoft said all our first party is going to be there day and date. Then everybody's like, oh yeah, well, I might subscribe to Game Pass. Before that, it was old ass games, and people were like, I don't think it's enough to warrant it. Because you got to remember, that thing came out in beta in March of last year, Game Pass. It's not something that just started up this last month. It's been out in beta since March, and it fully launched over the summertime last year. So we're coming up to the 1 year anniversary of Game Pass. And it really wasn't a big thing from when it launched to end of last year, even during the holiday. They advertised it, but it really, people like, there's a lot of 360 games in there. It's not really that good. It wasn't until Game Pass became a thing, Microsoft said, you're going to put new stuff in there. And then it became like, oh, well, maybe I'm interested in it now. So you got to look at it as, if somebody else just takes that mold and does it, and they got the games, it's going to kill Game Pass. And Microsoft has this habit of thinking really well, like having good stuff, but just poor implementation of it, like Skype. And somebody just taking that idea. So we'll see. But again, it's all about content. Stop waiting. Voice your opinion and let them know if you're tired of waiting that we're tired of waiting. And again, we'll wait to E3 and see what's up. But again, this has been a Grinds My Gears session, episode number 9. Thanks again for all coming out. And, share and like the video. And hopefully I'm going to do another one probably next week. But, I just got to get built up for it, because I got to get the venting to have the true, genuine experience. And if I'm not really feeling something, I don't want people to think that I'm just like phoning it in, because I really feel strong about this stuff. And that's where you get the true, like, I want to make sure that it's genuine. So that's why, it's kind of here. That's how I'm feeling about it. But thanks again, guys. Follow me on Twitter, Jez7780. I'm almost at 500 followers, which is crazy. I love using GIFs, and I state my opinion on there, as you should do too. And over here, that channel's growing. So, I definitely want to do more streaming. I also got the new version 2 of the PSVR. Definitely much more comfortable, less of a tug on it. Just a quick review on it. And the headphones being in the headset really is cool because you just pop them out, pop them in your ear. But yeah, I stream a lot of VR stuff and streaming the PlayStation stuff. And then whatever I do from my PC or Xbox, I'm going to do from Mixer, and then I'll put it on the YouTube channel because Mixer deletes your stuff after 14 days. Whatever. I like just putting out YouTube. That's why I've been using my PlayStation a lot. It's just so much easier to share. Again, another share button that Nintendo has, Sony has, Microsoft don't have. But you got Discord presence, though. Anyway, thanks again, everybody. I'll talk to you soon. And this is Grinds My Gears, Jez7780, and I'm out.